What's up, Dolphins? Travis Wingfield here, the host of the Drive Time Podcast on the Miami Dolphins Podcast Network, and I'm thrilled to be joined today by new Dolphins running back Raheem Mostert. Raheem, welcome in, man.
Hey, welcome, man. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me, Trav.
So, just getting down here, kind of getting the lay of the land. How has it hitting you yet? How do you feel about being a Miami Dolphin?
Oh man, I was here in 15, so it's full circle, man. It's crazy. I mean, I'm back, and I'm feeling better than ever, and I'm excited to just put on and show everybody what I can do, with this organization and the coaching staff and, the fan base. That's really where you want to make your statements, have the fans understand who you are as a person. And I believe that, this organization has gotten a great player, in myself, and I hate to boost myself up,
Hey,
but
that's what we're here for.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just enjoying it, man. I'm enjoying the process and being back here in Miami. I love Miami first and foremost. I come down here during the off season, so it's a whirlwind, but it's the right whirlwind.
So I asked Teddy this earlier because he's a Miami native as well. I know you're a little further north, but what's the go-to Miami thing after you're done with all your responsibilities here? What's the one thing you got to go do for some leisure and some fun?
Well, people think this is a little bit corny, but there's a spot called Wapo Taco right over in Hallandale.
Yes.
They have the best tacos. I'm gonna go ahead and check that spot out, in my leisure time. So
Wapo Taco.
Yeah, Wapo Taco,
that's up next, but we got to finish this first, okay?
Yeah.
We'll get you to Wapo Taco. But you mentioned being here with the Dolphins in 2015. Lots changed since then. New building, Davie to Miami Gardens. Bit of a change here, huh?
Yeah, definitely a bit of a change. I don't know if people really experienced the full change yet, but it was nice seeing back in the day where in Davie it was all the trophies and stuff like that in the lobby area and the spiral staircase and stuff like that going up into the offices and all that, and it was a little bit smaller of a locker room, but being here, man, it's unbelievable how everything's transpired and everything's bigger, better. There's a lot of different signs and everything like that, man. New building, so new turf and all that. Indoor facilities nice instead of the bubble, so it's all nice to see, man. It's definitely growing.
Yeah, pretty good backdrop there behind the practice field too. Not too bad to look at out there.
No, not at all.
So you mentioned being here again 2015, coming back here. How do you think you've grown as a player in that time?
Yeah, 2015, that was my rookie year. I was undrafted by the Eagles, and then I had just got picked up by the Dolphins. Actually, after the very first game. And I never forget, man, I came here with nothing but Eagles gear on. I showed up with Joe and Charlie down there in the equipment room, and those dudes were just laughing at me because that's all I had on me was just nothing but Eagles gear because I had traveled with the team, and I'm just a rookie. I don't know much about dressing up and
just wearing what you had, right?
Yeah, just wearing what I had, all the free gear and stuff like that. So it was nice, man. But now it's all changed. I understand the business aspect of the NFL, and I'm an 8-year vet now, so I'm excited, man, and looking forward to this journey. This is another chapter in my book that it hasn't been written yet, and I'm ready to write that.
We got you hooked up on the aqua hat here, looking good.
Yeah,
got the colors on now. So we talk about being from by Daytona, but what was the name of the city actually?
New Smyrna Beach.
New Smyrna Beach. Okay,
Yep.
So I saw a story about you on The Athletic growing up that you were pretty nifty, not just on a skateboard, but also on a surfboard. Is there any crossover between the footwork that goes into those two sports with football?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of crossover. You have to have good balance first and foremost. I mean, I know that you surf and skateboard as well. It's up your alley, so and you can relate. Skateboarding, man, is a lot of different tricks that you can do. And translate that into surfing. Surfing is a little bit easier, but you have to gauge a certain wave. And that's just how it is, man. You just go out there and just try to catch a wave. So being able to transition those things into football itself, having good balance, good vision, being able to read a certain wave, the same thing as being able to read a certain hole. So there's different ways of maneuvering in the NFL compared to like surfing or skateboarding, but it's all relatively the same though.
Yeah, I love that parallel. I didn't think about the idea of the wave and the offensive line kind of reading your blocks, reading your waves. So I've been around a few beaches down here since I moved to South Florida, and it's pretty flat out there. Is there a good surf spot down here?
Yeah, not down here. You know, once you get down into southern Florida, man, you're not really getting those pop waves. You know, where I'm from, up in New Smyrna, there's the inlet and stuff like that. You know, that's where the rocks come. There's rocks and stuff like that, and you could ride the waves, and you know the rocks create the waves. So essentially, you're getting good waves, especially in December and then those hurricane months.
Yeah, definitely.
You definitely get those like 10-foot waves. So
oh man,
yeah,
that's scary stuff. I don't know, I'm not quite that advanced yet, but we'll see about that. So you're back here with Mike McDaniel in Miami now, and you know you joined him after being with him in San Francisco.
Yep.
What do you love the most about his system offensively?
Man, first and foremost, I love Mike as a person.
Sure.
You know, his tenacity. People don't really get to see that just yet. You know, once the season kicks off, once he's able to, you know, the dust is settled, and you know, you get your draft picks, you get your people that you want in buildings, and you know, go through meetings, and you're gonna see a whole different Mike that, you know, not too many people see. And I've been fortunate enough to, you know, see him and stuff like that in San Francisco. So to be able to see him, you know, transition from the offensive coordinator job and a run game specialist, the run game coach, to now being the head coach, man, it's just amazing. You know, his tenacity, his leadership, the way he wants you to feel when you come into the building. You know, I've already had several talks with him in the building since I've been here, and he just makes you feel at home. You know, he does everything in a fashion where, you know, you're part of family, and it's not just about the X's and O's. He wants to help you grow as a person, as a man, and as a human. You know, and that's one of the biggest things that you want to see from a head coach, you know, player wise. So that, you know, I just can't wait to see how this whole thing turns out, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
That's a pretty great testimonial there. We'll take that.
Yeah.
And speaking of the coaches you're familiar with here, two more guys from the Niners, Wes Welker, John Embry. What can you tell us about them?
Yeah, Wes, man, he's gonna bring a lot out of the receivers. You know, he's been one of those guys, especially in the league. You know, he's played several years and played at Denver and played with the Patriots, played with Tom Brady, and so, you know, he brings that knowledge to the game, and he can help the receivers out, you know, especially how to win routes, win on their in breaking routes, out breaking routes, and just go up and be a dog. You know, the receiver corps is definitely going to get a tenacious style coach out of West, so I'm excited about that. And then you go over to, you know, the tight ends with Coach Embry. Embo, man, that guy he's a legend in himself. You know, he coached Tony Gonzalez. Yep. You know, so, you know, that right there just tells you the type of enthusiasm that he has with his coaching techniques and his coaching style. So you know, he's a guy that I've leaned on, you know, when I was in SF with him and stuff like that, and gotten to learn him and his sons and stuff like that. And they're all just great people, man. And both of these coaches are definitely someone to keep an eye out for, because they're trying to evolve the game, man. You know, truly.
And we love to hear that. And, you know, talking about your time in San Francisco, 220 yards and 4 touchdowns in the NFC Championship game in 2019. Do you know that's second all time in the NFL playoffs? Did you know about that?
Yeah.
How much pride do you take in that?
I take a lot of pride in it, you know. And what's crazy is I'm trying to mimic that even better. You know, I want better for myself. I set myself to a certain standard now, and I just want to go out there and just prove that, you know, every time I touch the ball, you know, it's gonna be either record breaking or, you know, I'm just trying to help this team win. You know, the same thing what I was doing in San Francisco. You know, just trying to help, you know, turn that thing around, and we were able to do that. You know, we made it to the playoffs. You know. And we were able to make it to the Super Bowl right here in Hard Rock.
That's right. You mentioned Mike's coaching and kind of what he meant to you in your career. So you had the 2 fastest runs, according to Next Gen Stats, back in 2020, as far as top speed reached. What does speed do for your game? Like, what role does speed play in your game as a running back?
Yeah, you know, speed, especially when you get to the outside edges, man. And Coach Mike is going to
Sure.
definitely bring out the best in you. You know, he wants to attack the edges often and early, and you got to understand the scheme of put your foot in the ground and go. So I know it's going to be a different transition for a lot of guys, but, you know, it's all just relative and it's all the same. You know, just put your foot in the ground, go, and don't think about it. Just hit the holes and ride the wave.
I love it. I love it.
So that's all you can do, man, especially in this offense. So
well, last one for you here, and then let you get out there for the waves or Wapo Taco. No,
yeah, Wapo Taco, baby.
So you got this opportunity here with the Miami Dolphins. What are you most excited about the whole experience?
Yeah, I mean, this team is an unbelievable team. You know, last year they had one game where they just missed the playoffs, and you know, if I can come in and help, you know, with one game to make it to the playoffs, hopefully I could bring an aspect to the game in the run game to make it a little bit easier for everybody. You know, me, Chase Edmonds, and some of the other backs that are here. So, you know, it's gonna be a challenge, especially because, you know, they don't know the offense just yet, but they're in for a special surprise, man, when it comes to, you know, knowing what we got to do to get to our ultimate goal, and that's to win a championship. Once you implement that and everybody's on board, and I could tell everybody was on board last year. Like I said, it was just one game away, but if you got enough guys and enough characters in the building, then it's gonna happen.
Well, we're looking forward to you imparting some wisdom on the players here in the locker room and also scoring some touchdowns across the street there at Hard Rock Stadium.
Oh yeah,
Raheem Mostert, new Dolphins running back. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah,
today, man.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me.